Alexa in the middle. Traditionally, Mexican Independence Day weekend had belonged to Canelo, and most recently he had headlined multiple cards at T-Mobile. Have you had any conversations with this champion? Have they reached out to at least congratulate you?
No, not yet. I'm not. He's super huge. He's someone that I admire so much. We're from the same city, but I hope that with my achievements and be winning, someday I could have a training with him.
As a follow-up to that question, do you allow yourself to have these moments sink in and actually celebrate what you've achieved? Because there's always something more. You're in a rematch, but do you just allow yourself to have the moments to appreciate what has happened so far for you?
As an elite athlete in combat sports, we know that we don't have much time. So right now, I'm celebrating coming back to the gym as soon as possible, to do rehabilitation, to heal all my injuries and come back the best way I can to the gym. So that's how I celebrate, because I don't know how many years I have left in the sport. I also have 30 years old right now, so I'm just trying to do the best I can with the years I have. So the best way to do it is training, doing my best, and then I will have the time enough to enjoy and celebrate and do everything I want.
Alexa, back here. This is your first rematch, and I'm just kind of curious, has there been a difference in your confidence going into this one, knowing that you can beat Valentina?
Well, of course, we also shared the octagon 20 minutes before. I know what she has. I felt her body, I felt her power, I felt everything that she can bring to the table, and that's why I prepared myself better. I did a lot of adjustments, my coaches did a lot of adjustments, so I know what I'm capable of, and I'll do my best to win again.
And just kind of touching on those adjustments a little bit, obviously you did very well in the striking against her, and maybe she did better on the ground than in the striking against you, and so I'm curious, how big of a focus was takedown and grappling defense in this camp particularly?
A lot. Of course, the striking is number one, always. And jiu-jitsu and wrestling game is always improving, and this wasn't different. There are a lot of adjustments in the jiu-jitsu department.
Definitely, and I know you're obviously focused on this one, but you got this great achievement now, becoming a champion. I'm curious if you look ahead at all and think about, what's the next big goal? Like you said, you want to defend and do these things, but do you think about becoming a double champ or anything crazy extravagant for the next big kind of mountain to climb after this fight?
No, right now I'm focused just on 125. I want to have the most title defense as I can do.
Best of luck.
Thanks.
So back here at the back here, I was just kind of curious. It's been 19 years since Ronda Rousey made her UFC debut, and she's done so many wonderful things for the sport and becoming a champion and so forth. I'm kind of wondering through the years, as you see the fighters today, how those skill sets have kind of changed among the fighters now, from then to today.
Well, we've seen a lot of changes. The rules are different. I think that before it was more noticed when you had a striker versus a grappler, or a wrestler versus karate. Right now we have everything. It's not just one game plan. Now we have complete athletes. I think that's the most important difference now we have.
Alexa, gracias por tomar tiempo de hablar con la prensa.
Gracias.
Desde que te convertiste en campeona, ¿qué tanto ha cambiado tu vida? Claro, las cámaras no pueden contar todo, pero una historia que nos puedas contar de la gente que antes te dudó y ahora te da el abrazo, o las puertas que se te han abierto desde ser la reina de tu categoría.
Since you became a champion, obviously a lot of things have changed in your life. But we want to know what has changed in your life besides the fact that everything that you do is on camera right now. Everything's seen. But can you tell us a story about people that were with you along the way, people that came to you after you became a champion? So what has changed in your life, and a story you can tell us?
Pues mira, la verdad es que yo les digo, mi vida no cambió mucho, mi vida sigue siendo la misma, sigo siendo la persona, trato de mantenerme siempre simple, enfocada y entrenando, porque la fórmula que me trajo hasta este momento fue entrenar todos los días, 3 veces al día, todas las semanas, todos los meses, casi todo el año. Entonces creo que eso es lo más importante, ¿no? Mantenerte igual. Y acerca del trato de las personas, sí ha habido personas que me dicen, yo creía que ibas a perder, pero pues me demostraste lo contrario. Otras personas me dicen, gané muchísimo dinero. Las personas, pues yo creo que es lo más bonito, ¿no? Poderte ganar el corazón de esas personas que dudaban en ti sin decir nada y solamente demostrando tu trabajo.
Before we get started, guys, we're just going to present Alexa with some commemorative belt for our first Noche event. It's customized for her from Mexico, and it's considered a tri belt, so you'll actually be getting some more information via email of everything that went into making this belt today.
First of all, Alexa, I mean, the UFC barely does this, that they customize belts, and you're doing it for, you know, Mexican heritage, for your title fight. How nice is it to see the UFC focus on your culture and on this special date on September 16th?
Well, this is special because, as you notice, Mexico has been growing so fast and so nice in the sport. Honestly, having Mexican champions was a few years ago kind of impossible, so it's a big motivation for me. What Brandon has done, Jair what has done, Irene what has done, and every single Mexican in the card. Right now we have a card in Independence Mexican Day. This didn't happen in another country, so this says a lot about Mexican support in every single fight.
You almost have to like pinch yourself, like, is this really happening? Because as you mentioned, you go back a few years ago and this was really hard to imagine, right?
Well, it's been a dream come true, and the most important thing, it's full of training, a lot of training to be able to be in this moment right now.
Do you think this is the best possible scenario for your first title defense? Mexican Independence Day, you know, being celebrated, Mexican heritage, plus, you know, a big rematch, maybe one of the biggest fights in the division's history. Do you think this is like the best case scenario for your first title defense?
Yes, well, I always say that making history is never easy, but I've been working so hard every single day of my life to be at this moment, and this last camp wasn't different. You know, I was training more, I was with more discipline, I was like 2-3 times extremer with my training and with everything that has to be done to be the champion again, to win the fight again. And you know, I just try to keep focused on the goal.
Yeah. And what's it like to show up in Vegas and seeing your face everywhere? Billboards, T-Mobile, magazines. I mean, even like just covers of like tables and everything. What's that like?
It feels great. You know, it's always for an athlete to achieve all these big moments. You know, to have in Las Vegas a lot of pictures of yourself fills my heart. You know, it fills a lot my heart. And it just gives me a lot of motivation for this Saturday.
And I gotta ask you, you are the last right now Mexican champion. Obviously, we saw Jair lose his interim and Brandon lose his undisputed. I'm wondering if that fuels you even further, just to kind of keep the flag at a championship level in the UFC pressure. How do you feel about your stance right now?
No, I don't think call it pressure. I think it's more motivation. You know, like we have done so much in the sport. We've been evolving so hard, and this keeps me with tons of motivation to keep the belt in Mexico.
And lastly, Valentina, after your fight, mainly said that, yeah, like it gave you some credit, but really emphasized the fact that she felt like she made an error in the fight, and it was that because what led her to losing the belt. I'm curious to your reaction to her response as to why she lost the belt.
It just kind of surprised for me because someone with such big experience and competing at this high level, we know that there are no accidents. You know, I trained for that moment, and you also can see the video that I have behind before the fight. You know, I was training in exactly that same position, so it was something that I trained to win that fight.
Looks over here. Alexa, last time out, you fought Valentina at UFC 285. Both of you had loud ovations inside the arena, but there's a good chance that you steal all of that this Saturday, right? How is it like, and how eager are you knowing that you're going to fight in front of a home crowd that's most likely going to be 100% Alexa Grasso on Saturday night?
Well, I hope, she's very famous too, people love both of us, which is beautiful, to have a lot of people cheering for both athletes in such big event, such main event. So it's going to be huge. I'm truly thankful for every single person that has the time to come to the event, that will be there with their flags and cheering for Mexico.
And one of your teammates is here, Diego Lopez. What's it like for you seeing him debut in the UFC and putting up those great performances he has thus far?
Well, I've seen his career for a long time. We had a tough moments before getting in the UFC. I know what he's capable of. He's doing great, and I think you're looking his evolution. And of course, my evolution in my jiu-jitsu game, it's thanks for him.
En una es español, Alexa, obviamente este fin de semana va a ser la primera vez que la UFC tiene un evento en el Día de Independencia en México. Dana White ha dicho que están construyendo un PI en México. Como campeona indiscutible mexicana, ¿cómo se siente ver el avance mexicano en las artes marciales mixtas?
Obviously, Dana, first of all, the first ever event on Mexican Independence Day for the UFC, and also Dana White mentioned that they talks about the PI in Mexico right now. So how do you see the advancement of being the undisputed Mexican champion right now? How do you see the advancement of MMA in Mexico?
Bueno, para mí es algo muy importante todo lo que está sucediendo en México. Tenemos muchos guerreros. Ustedes saben que cuando un mexicano se sube a pelear deja absolutamente todo, siempre damos unas guerras, no importa la adversidad, siempre estamos ahí luchando por todos nuestros sueños, por cumplir nuestras metas, y eso habla de todos los resultados que se están ahorita dando para México. Estoy segura que con el PI, que con toda la ayuda que nos van a dar tanto en nutrición, en terapia física, en entrenamiento, todo México va a cambiar muchísimo de los peleadores y va a ser un gran avance en la cultura mexicana en el MMA.
We have so many warriors right there. We always go to war. I mean, everybody knows that when a Mexican steps onto the octagon, that's what we're going to give. We're going to leave it all out there, and that speaks volumes for them. I mean, it speaks for the results that we've achieved. And I think that with all the help, with the PI, with nutrition, with physical therapy, with all the training, I think that you're going to see even more coming up.
Y obviamente el tema de la noche va a ser México y los peleadores mexicanos, pero tu oponente Valentina Shevchenko es ciudadana peruana. ¿Qué significa para ti ver dos mujeres que representan Latinoamérica ser pelea estelar en una cartelera grande?
And of course, being in Mexican Independence Day and so much focus on Mexico, your opponent too represents Peru. So what do you think about two women representing Latin America to be in such a high stage?
Para mí es algo muy importante. Creo que es el deporte en el que más rápido las mujeres han crecido y evolucionado casi a la par de los hombres. Ahorita somos estelares, coestelares, las peleas realmente son muy emocionantes y que las dos representemos a Latinoamérica es algo muy grande para mí.